Booga booga. I greetings and blessings to all y'all out there. I am your humble host, Mr. David Null, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers. And each and every day I continue to pray that each and every one of you will continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the many blessings from the universe. And yes, there are all kinds. And so I greet you here on this Tuesday night. Well, actually, it's Wednesday morning at 1:20, a.m. And for those of you who wish and can and want to and so forth, I'm ready. I have my special cigarette holder that when I roll my own cigarettes, um, you know, I don't like the really wide ones, right? And so, but when I want to smoke a cigarette, then I just smoke half of it, and then I'll put it in this little. This is a tube from a vape, okay, and I put my cigarette in the end of it and use it like this, so I don't burn my fingers and blah blah blah. Anyway, so uh, happy 420 somewhere. But earlier to this evening, I was on Milky Way Soul Tribe. Hey, Barry, and what's up? Give me some it. And at the end of the storytelling and reading and so forth, um, folks asked for a card, and I pulled a card, and it was Bear card. Now, the other night I pulled Bear card, and it was right side up. Tonight it was upside down. Hey, Chloe. Hi, everybody. So I found it interesting in that, though, this is Tuesday night, and Saturday night, I think, was the night I did the card readings. Hey, Project, how are you? Good to see you all. Blessings to you, and hoping you're dealing with whatever you're dealing with best way you can. You know what was excellent, Barry? The card readings I did the other night. I'm not looking for compliments. I'm trying to understand what you meant because I'm thinking of the stories tonight on Soul Tribe, but I don't know if you were there. So, but anyway, that's I'm asking for clarification for my own personal for my own personal use and gain, right? But anyway, smoke if you got them. With tangerine trees. Oh, my read today. Oh, thank you. Tangerine trees and marmalade skies. Picture yourself on a boat on a river with tangerine trees and marmalade skies. The Beatles. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, but as soon as I got done reading it and we got off and everything, the spirit is kind of sort of with me, as it were. And like, really what an excellent, honest to goodness card for today. Not just from, you caught it just in time. Yeah. So I'm going to read the bear card again. Now, in some of these terms, I put, the courage of bear. And so, but in reading some stuff, you go, well, bear stands for this and that. Bear might not necessarily stand, quote, for courage itself. And I wanted to clarify this for myself, okay? But the courage to go within and to be silent and to get the answers from the universe, and then to have to have the self authority to follow those things that you get in the dream lodge or whatever, to make those dreams or uh, goals in life that you have come true. That takes courage, okay? Whether bear stands for courage or not, the act of bear takes courage, okay? So what has prompted me on this particular vibe today is the absolute wonderful, beautiful thing that happened in New York City today with all of the city employees who refused the mandate, streaming across the Brooklyn Bridge. And I'm just like, you got my support, you know, and a lot of other people, just because you said, wait a minute, I didn't sign up for this, you know. So years ago, about our health issues and so forth, right? So, for example, my personal medical conditions and so forth are my dead gum business, all right? So, for example, I have a history of, of mental health. I was, Baker acted by the locals and sent for 3 days, two nights and a day, but long enough, end quote, the, Southwestern Mental Hospital. And I tried to sue them SOBs and stuff. And anyway, powerful folks down yonder. I don't go down yonder much. Hey, Maverick. So, this idea that there are powerful people in positions that misabuse their position, all right, and that they will, this is how it must be, and go, No. For example, when my mother was passing away, my adopted mother passed away years ago, back in the 80s ish. Um, the people that I was working for told me I wanted a 2 week in a row um, um, leave of absence, and they refused to give it to me because there were farmers and so forth around there that wanted 2 weeks leave of absence because that was they wanted time off and to go bring a crop in or something, and they decided that you could do 1 week, come back a week, and then take another week, but you couldn't take 2 weeks in a row. Well, she was dead. Me coming home and then going back down wasn't going to make it. So, I said, I'm sorry, I need 2 weeks in a row to take care of this business. I can't come back and then go back, and no, that's stupid. And they said, well, then you're fired. And I said, okie dokie. And it was a really good job. I really liked my job. I made good money at it. Nobody could do what I could do. I was in my own little world, literally, but it was good because I was, doing good things. But when they said that, so you have to take authority. And so for people today in New York City saying, we're sorry, we don't agree with this, mandate thing that the mayor has placed on us, and a lot of other folks, the folks from General Electric, GE, walked out and said, no, no, no. So in pulling this bear card tonight, it's the idea that people are taking back their authority. My authority. If you think about Cartman back in the day, respect my authority. Hey Maverick. Hey Maverick, how are you? Sis will be here soon. Yeah, good to see you. Is that what GTSU means? Uh, but good to see you all. So I know each of us are being, facing whatever personal challenges, right? And like I said the other night, my prayer and the drum and all that stuff was, honestly, they're going to put this stuff in the schools with the children. I don't have any small children. I got a grandson that's in school. So no, I don't want him to be part of that. And I haven't had conversation with, his father and mother, so I don't know where their stance on it is, and they may have already gotten the thing. So, but the idea though that But that's just it. It's their choice. If that's what they wanted, then okie dokie. I'm not going to argue with them. I really am not. I know I've known what my choice has been as far as flu shots for many years because I was allergic to them, and it states so in my um, 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 information at my doctor's. So, which I need to get a copy of that. Uh, Moved first bunch of stuff to the Ozark house today. Cool beans. I've been organizing, building flow sticks, LED glow sticks in the end of a piece of PVC pipe, getting ready for a rave. That sounds like fun, honest to God. I used to do stuff like that back in the day, but fixed a Bluetooth speaker today. Cool beans. In an effort to learn to solder, you got to build your own lightsaber. That's cool, honestly. There's there are these glow lights that they sell in these strips, by the way, Maverick. And I used them years ago in a production. We did, we did, I rewrote and made a stage production of Scrooge. And we needed special lights that we could spread out but weren't too bright. But it's sort of like a rope light, but it was really interesting in that it came in different sections and you could add pieces or subtract or anyway. But it reminded us of like if you put it in a plastic tube that you could kind of sort of have a lightsaber. But anyway, I can't remember this stuff, but we bought it online through, like theater lights and stuff, and bulbs and things. And that's been like 6 or 7 years ago at least. So, but anyway, um, that's where that sticky stuff is coming from. My glasses were coming apart and I had to put glue on them again. And the glues run all over the place while I was sitting here talking to y'all. So, greetings, everybody. But I pulled the bear card again tonight, as I did the other night for a couple of people. But the card was straight up each time I got the bear. So, but tonight when it showed up upside down, I was amazed that it was like I felt through the cards and they were like, no, this is the one. And I flipped it over and well, it's bear. And they were like, yeah, so you want a card, right? Yeah. Well, this one's upside down. Okay. So then the message of take back your authority, your authority. And I think that it just fits today, not just for me or maybe just me and you, but in watching people's reactions at different places, I'm like very encouraged for Americans because it's just not a couple of crazy people who are saying no. It's a whole, they filled up the Brooklyn Bridge with people saying, no, sorry, we don't agree. So, what if all those folks literally walked out of the city and just left people to whatever? So, it's like, and sometimes you got to walk out. Now, the GE folks, now here's the thing I believe this is a revolution in and of itself and a peaceful one. In that, what are they going to do? Are they going to bring in guns and the National Guard and make these people go back to work? Are they going to, how are they going to, quote, force this if some of the employees who would be enforcing this are actually the people in the street, like cops and firemen and healthcare workers and stuff like that, EMTs? Sorry, you're having a heart attack? Sorry, I can't come to work because I don't have my little card. What? Yeah, there's a person that died on, fire broke out. Sorry, we're not working today. What? Sorry, there's a shooting down on, April in Maine. And, but we're not going because, sorry, we're going to sit this one out. Seriously? Now, the folks at GE, but for the folks at GE that I saw standing in line holding signs, those folks know a lot. And you get rid of a bunch of people who know a lot, and you try to pick up the pieces, say, well, I lost 12 or 15 engineers on specific projects, and they walk out. And then somebody comes in and goes, well, that's easy. We can hire new engineers. It's going to take you a year for them to figure out what the hell was going on before they can get used to the system and then figure out what was going on. They're going to lose so much money in the long, because I've worked for an engineering firm. Okay. I was the guy they hired to come in when other people could, so I know about this stuff. So, but this, see the folks at General Electric and all the city employees in New York City, and there are other people and other folks. I think people are going to take this to heart. Okay, they already have, but when they see the people going across Brooklyn Bridge in in a patriotic, on one end of the bridge, they all stopped and said, you know, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, with liberty and justice for all. And there are all these people standing there, and it's like liberty and justice for all. But it gives me encouragement. We'll see how this goes, but if some of the mayors and like Chicago, the folks in Chicago said, "Nah, don't think so." What does that mean to the real world? Uh, just saying anybody can learn and do anything really want to. Turns out awesome could be a cash out if you can give some of these jobs. It's not like nobody else can do them, but to go walk to if folks walked out to be able to walk into a place and pick up where the engineers were already working. Myself, myself, staff spinning in the last a double bladed line. Yeah, I used to. Yeah, we need to take back our world. See, this is one of the first times there's quote really been a mandate where people are saying sorry. You know, um, sorry, but you can't make me do this. And it's supposed to be one of our inalienable rights, right? The life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness kind of thing. And liberty. And if you're going to make somebody do something, that's not much liberty in that, right? And so in the last 2 years, there's all these people in the stands. There's all these people to go into all these events. College students, folks are going back to normal, even over the summer, what I told you all, and traveling between the states. Not many people were wearing masks and being all freaked out. So, in my humble opinion, all this stuff about how we're all going to die and the people here locally are stressing the mask and to get the vaccine. And why? There's nobody, oh, there's two or three people that, sorry, but two or three people die all the time. I don't mean to be rude. One of these days, I'm going to kick that old can down the highway. But as I read tonight, that one story, is that we are not all rocks and mountains. Only the rocks and mountains survive. You know, man was meant to die at some point. We do the best we can while we're here. That's the fun and the whole idea of the journey is to see what, not necessarily what kind of trouble we can get into, but in a way, that's sort of how I looked at it for a while was, but I mean, when the next time Duggar and I go down on the river, it's going to be an adventure, and in that adventure, what kind of trouble are we going to get into? We're going to go down the river and run into a log. What's going to happen? That's a part of it. So what's going to happen in life? But when people decide on their own, and it seems like in a very small minority, that we should all do a particular thing, and we just say sorry, but no, like having myself work for large corporations, you know, well, if you don't take, if you don't do it our way, then just quit. And I did. And folks, over the years, there were times when I wished that I could have kept that job because I was really good at it. And after another 5 or 10 years, nobody would have been able to beat me. I just would have been set for life, just go in, do my job, get paid, come home, no big worries, right? Because my job was so specialized at the time, and my job would still be necessary even now. Um, but I knew I couldn't live with myself if I didn't do it. I knew that in the long run, and so over the years, do I regret having lost my job? Yeah, but I don't regret quitting, because the man tried to tell me, "Hey, how you doing, Conscious?" If I don't comment much, I had computer issues and now I'm trying. Okay, buddy. Yeah, my computer was sitting here and I don't know, I was clicking on something before I got on with Robert tonight on Soul Tribe. And, and the computer gave me this blue screen and said, sorry, we got to shut down. We found a problem in your computer, and it had to reboot and do the whole thing. And that it was strange. So yeah, this been going on and I don't know what. Dana Eugene. Interesting. Hi, Dana. I've been considering getting a tablet, how, Maverick, how do you like, if you're using a tablet, do you like it at all? This was not my computer and it's a few years old. And I know that if I try to upgrade it, that things are going to get weird. So I'm looking at, just getting a new computer. And, I had a Chromebook for several years. Uh, yeah. Well, I want something, like this is okay here with this laptop, and I might just get another laptop that belongs to me that I set up in my name, not somebody else's with other stuff in it that I can't get rid of, and But anyway, keep this laptop as maybe just a maybe for just doing something like this, but I want something I can take around with me that's easier. This battery is shot, and if I try to get a battery for it, it would be I could put that towards a new computer with a different platform and stuff. But anyway, um, you're just Dana. Yeah, Maverick. I've built my own computers. Starting with motherboards and cases and the whole 9 yards. I've built several over the years, and I was thinking about doing another one. And but it's like, but what do I actually need? What are my requirements now? What is it? I would really like to eventually get my office back upstairs, and it's my own fault. But with cold weather coming, it's right above the heater here, so it's going to be a whole lot warmer right upstairs than it is going to be sitting right here. So and I need to start using the stairs and getting back upstairs. So this will be a good opportunity for me. I'm hoping that the wintertime when I use the opportunity, because it's just too blaming hot in the summertime to be upstairs much, to reclaim my upstairs again. And but have my office. I've got another older computer upstairs, and I have a tower that had a blown hard drive or something with the motherboard. I can't remember what, but anyway. So I was thinking about just getting another motherboard and installing it in this tower. and going from there, new hard drive, a new DVD, something. So, but anyway, uh, because what I'd like to do is do, um, I was practicing before I got my head banged up this last time bad. I was working with 3D animation and had set it all up and all the good stuff, programs, had been working with Maya and some other 3D softwares, had been working with 3D AutoCAD for many years. That's what I did when I was an engineer. And so I've known all about this. So I wanted to be able to take pictures of my puppets and turn them into 3D animations and then be able to tell stories. Because if I couldn't go out and tell stories with the puppets, I wanted to take pictures of the puppets, transfer them, import them, turn them into characters, do backgrounds and so forth, and tell the stories that way. So I'm not dead yet. But I lost a lot of information when I had that last head bang. But so I do want something where I'm not into games anymore or anything like that, but I do want the processing power to be able to render, video and to do 3D animation. So I would definitely want something powerful enough to do that. And I'm an old AMD fan from way back. I don't really like Intel or anything like that. I've used some stuff. I think this is an Intel, but if I were to buy the processors and so forth I've had over the years were AMD, and I never had a processor crash on me. Motherboards crashed, but the processors never did. And as far as doing 3D rendering with AutoCAD, they work just fine. So back to heck, the drives are solid state now too. Yeah, I've got a solid state drive right behind me back here. Yes, with Skyfalls, we just have to talk to me on. Greetings, Michelle. Thank you for the smile. Um, but so to get back to Bear, the a lot of folks these days, and I understand it, man. Don't get me wrong, because there are things that I have to have the courage to face myself. There are things around here. There are things I need to take care of about my life. I really need to. Not that I'm hoping to die tomorrow, but I need to take preparations, and if I can be buried up here by the road, I need to look into that instead of keep putting it off. Because if I can get the permission and things like that, well, then I won't have to worry about somebody burying me or where am I going to go or something like that. I will have already taken care of that myself. That's just common sense, because I used to sell cemetery property. And I'm getting to the age where I should have already kind of sort of taken care of this. And I need to follow through on some of these things. But here's the thing, quite frankly, I'm a chicken shit. Okay. And it takes courage to call or do or follow through on something that deals with stuff like that. So it's like, well, I'll get to it one day. You always want to put it off. Well, it's not about the afraid of dying or nothing like that. I'm more afraid now, if you will, that I'm going to be a burden to somebody else after I'm gone because I haven't taken care of things that maybe I should have. So, but in that, I want to go ahead and follow through on it, but it takes courage, right? So you know that you need to do something. You know that it's like there. So, but the bear card tonight, I'm going to read it here at this point. Uh, right. But, as far as taking out, my parents had, cemetery plots. They had stuff plotted out. My granny and everybody, so when they did die, there was already stuff taken care of. I can be that smart and should be that smart. But I haven't. So, and I'm like I said, I'll be quite, is Pearl in the house? Hey, cool beans. In the end, yeah, it won't matter in the end for me. But I'm trying to think of the other person. Oh, you made butter cookies tonight. Oh, shame on you. You talked about it so much that the other day I had, I got some plain old oatmeal cookies from the store when I was there, dunking them in. in my milk, Sorry. Oh, and for me, dunking a pecan sandy. But anyway, so now, as I said earlier, to try to focus on the bear thing, let me get this out, right? The bear thing, in the book, it is about introspection, okay? But in the title, I said courage. Now, it takes courage to go within. It takes courage to act on those things. It takes courage to be a bear, you know. So, bear, invite me into the cave where silence surrounds the answers you gave. The strength of bear medicine is the power of introspection. Now, I'm going to read the whole thing just like I did on Milky Way. Sorry if you have to listen to it again. But then a little conversation in the middle, maybe. The strength of bear medicine is in the power of introspection. It lies in the West on the great medicine wheel of life. Bear seeks honey or the sweetness of truth within the hollow of an old tree. In the winter, when the ice queen reigns and the face of death is upon the earth, bear enters the womb like cave to hibernate, to digest the year's experience. So that's a very interesting way to put that, to digest the year's experience. Hey, David, I hope you're feeling better. Uh, you know, Probably with speech to text. Don't worry about it. We forgive you already. But to bear enters the womb cave to hibernate, to digest the year's experience. So here's the thing: whatever it is that you decide to use bear to go and hibernate for, it could be just a meditation, right? And that you go within and you digest whatever that day's experience, maybe it's a week or a month, or doesn't have to be a year. And it could be just a current event that you need to deal with. Okay. And so you go within, to digest the experience. It says the year's experience, but realize that our experience, and sometimes one day feels like a year too. So, but anyway, it is said that our goals reside in the West also. To accomplish the goals and dreams that we carry, the art of introspection is necessary. It rhymes. I love it. To accomplish the goals and dreams that we carry, the art of introspection is necessary. To become like bear and enter the safety of the womb cave, we must attune ourselves to the energies of the eternal mother. The great void is the place where all solutions and answers live in harmony with the questions that are in our life. If we choose to believe that there are many questions to life, we must also believe that the answer to those questions reside within us also. Each and every being has the capacity to quiet the mind. See, I think this is good, just good general info. Each and every being, not human, being has the capacity to quiet the mind, enter the silence, and know. Many tribes have called this space of inner knowing the dream lodge, sometimes the dream space, but where the death of the illusion of physical reality. So, in other words, the death of your day, that you say, man, today was just unreal. Well, it's no longer a reality because it's already over. So, it's the lost my place. where death of the illusion of physical reality. So you go, okay, the illusion of how this is going or whatever, and you realize at the end of the day that maybe you worried about something that you really didn't need to worry about, like what's coming or this or that or whatever, because there was nothing you could really do about it. Now we can think about it and ponder it, but um, that's where each and every being has the capacity to quiet the mind, enter the silence, and know. It's in italics. So it is in the dream lodge that our ancestors sit in council and advise us regarding alternative pathways that lead us to our goals. That is the power of bear. Okay. So I think it's important for some folks too, is like in this idea of talking about, the angels and all of this and, different religions, the Asian cultures believe in ancestors, just like, some of the Mexican, how they regard their ancestors and remembering them and keeping them alive, and and sometimes even burying grandma in the ground in the old days, because so, and eating granny, that was another one, and that they did it not out of respect, because they wanted to keep a part of her with them. Okay. So you say, well, I don't know, I just don't think I could eat grandma, but um Nolan Boyd. Hey, David Castle. Vikings. But so in the dream lodge is basically close your eyes and just be calm for a minute, and once you learn it, you don't even have to have headphones. You can tune out the noises around you. Having been in jail and all the noises and all the things and stuff, I learned how to tune stuff out, and at the same time you can tune it out, you can also be aware of guys in the kitchen downstairs below you having a conversation while you're trying to sleep 2 floors above them. Okay, because sound travels through the steel and the concrete, especially at 2 in the morning. But this idea though that at the same time I could make all that sound, where I didn't hear anything. I went to my own place. So, but you have to learn it. You have to work on it. People say, well, it's so hard. Just, you got to be patient. Well, I haven't got there yet. Some of this stuff for some people takes years. And it's so simple that some folks think, well, this can't be it. Maybe it is. Well, I don't know. I was expecting, like lights and stuff and going off, and I'm just sitting here, but I'm calm. Well, maybe that's the answer. You're in the calm, because the only way you're going to hear the messages from the universe to whatever questions you may have, there are questions about where do you think Tesla got his stuff from? When he was sleeping, he would have a candle or a light beside the bed because it was the old days back then. And he always had his glasses and a paper and pencil so he could write it down, you know. And in that, what they teach you in uh, astral projection, if you've been somewhere and you've done something or dreaming or whatever, then you wake up and write everything you can remember down at that time. And then in the morning or the next day or whatever, you look at it and then fill in anything else you might remember. Go, yeah, well, that while that was going on, I remember something else. Here's some more detail. So for whatever the dreams are, whatever but the practice of it, the practice of remembering and so forth, that's going within. Okay, that's the great silence. That's what Buddha would be teaching, in that you just be still and accept all nature, and all things. And so the dream lodge is that. So there are other folks' dreams and stuff out there. There are other folks' questions out there in the void, null and void. I see you, Michelle. It is only one L. Why did I think it was two? Anyway, uh, do you have to move all your? Oh, yeah. I wish I could come help. But I'm working on my truck. I bought more parts for my truck today, and I damn near had got run over in Moultrie because the truck stalled in an intersection. So I don't even want to drive to town anymore until I get this thing fixed. But I've got two new parts. I got to take my throttle body off to put both of the parts on. But in talking with several different people with have Ford Rangers that have had the similar issue, that this should solve my issue. So fingers crossed, because I'd really like to be able to go to Florida and do some stuff. I'd really like to be able to go to Moultrie and without stalling and getting run over by a semi. Me and Duggar would not like that at all. So, but back to Bear. So, what does it mean to go into the hibernation? What does it mean to go into this dream lodge? What does it mean? It means to just be quiet. There is some kind of special, well, if you want to light some incense or some sage or a candle, if that helps you get there, okie dokie. But you could just lay flat on your back before you go to sleep, or maybe sometimes first thing in the morning. Like for me, I ain't got nowhere really any place to go except to go pee when I wake up. It's like, well, gotta go. You know, Everything is out of the way. Sorry, nothing else matters but to get to a place where you can do that. Otherwise, you're going to wet yourself. And thank goodness I don't have to wear a diaper at the moment. So, but back to the great void is the place where all solutions and answers live in harmony with the questions that fill our realities. So, whatever it is in this life that we're asking about, there are answers out there already. Because somewhere in this universe, somebody's been through some of this stuff before, and we might be, coming back through this again ourselves. This is a hard sentence, but the inner knowing, the dream lodge, where the death of illusion of physical reality overlays the expansiveness of eternity. So we sit here and look at our lives right now, but actually, if you really understand this, our spirits are a long time old. At least some of them are really old, right? And so the illusion of this realm right now is like, well, the whole world and the rest of my life. But wait a minute, when we pass on and go into the next realm, there's this whole other expanse of the universe. So we have to keep that in consideration. So the female receptive energy that for centuries has allowed visionaries, mystics, and shamans to prophesy is contained in this very special bear energy. In India, the cave symbolizes the cave of Brahma. Brahma's cave is considered to be the pineal gland that sits in the center of the four lobes of the brain. If one were to imagine an overview of the head, the top, it would be a circle. Hey, Witch Moon, the south would be the forehead, so this is south. And if you fall on your face, you're heading south, right? The north is the back of the skull. The west would be the right side, and the east, the left side of the brain. Bear is in the west, the intuitive side, the right brain. To hibernate, bear travels to the cave, which is in the center of the four lobes, where the pineal gland resides. In the cave, bear seeks answers while he or she is dreaming or hibernating or meditating or just being quiet. Bear is then reborn in the spring, in other words, when you wake up, like the opening of spring flowers. So if you use this bear energy with the right intent, So you go into your hibernation space, and it's really nice and calm and quiet and peaceful. And, it's in your bear cave. You're snuggled up. Everything's groovy. Nothing's bothering, You're snoring a little bit and everything's groovy, so that when you wake up, you're stretched and ain't got a care in the world, right? Because you've just had this wonderful dream time. So, reborn in the spring. So, the spring in this case, in reference to the bear, is waking up out of your dream, or however you want to put it. Okay. So, but if you use that when I'm waking up, it's like the bear coming into springtime, then you will feel that. You see what I'm saying? Bears, okay. For eons, all seekers of the dream time and of visions have walked the path of silence, calming the internal chatter, reaching the place of rites of passage, the channel or the pineal gland. From the cave of bear, you will find the pathway to the dream lodge and the other levels of imagination or consciousness. Now, imagination, or not and consciousness, but or consciousness. But I would say and or in this circumstance. So the other levels of imagination, that's interesting, especially if you're a creative person, or you're seeking just, spiritual knowledge, then it's the consciousness. In choosing Bear, the power of knowing has invited you to enter the silence and, and become acquainted with the dream lodge so that your goals in life may become more concrete realities. This is the strength of Bear. Now, tonight I pulled this card. Hey, Green Houdini, how are you? Thank you. Hi, Witch Moon. Sky Falls is in. How are you? How are you? So now, tonight when I pulled the card in Soul Tribe, it was upside down. Now, sometimes, you know, that's just nasty. It's 1:07 in the AM time here on 10/27/2021. Welcome you all here to the one of these, early morning sessions with Hawkeye Two Feathers and friends. Greetings, everybody. We've been here for 47 minutes and 53 seconds. Hoping you all are doing as well as possible. Sending out good energy, good vibes, good prayers to all of y'all, and a giant cosmic hugs and a thumbs up and cheers. So, but in looking at things, you think, oh well, it was upside down. It's negative. Actually, when I read this tonight again, it was almost overly positive. I was like, wow, this. So I had to continue this conversation and repeat it on my channel here. If you've drawn Bear reversed, your internal dialogue may have confused your perception of your true goals. In other words, you may have convinced you that you need a new iPhone when actually you don't. Okay. Your internal dialogue may have confused your perception. So I got to have this, I got to want it, but to the point, you have to be honest in this, and that also takes courage. So if you're trying to convince yourself that this is right or wrong, are you really? Have you confused your perception of your true goals? In seeking answers or advice from others, you may have placed your own feelings and your own knowing aside. The time has come to regain your authority. This is what I'm talking about. The time has come for you to regain your authority. For no one knows better than yourself what is proper and timely for your evolution. Reclaim the power of knowing. Find joy in the silence and the richness of the mother's womb. In other words, in the dream lodge. Allow the thoughts of confusion to be laid to rest. This is real important. Allow the thoughts of confusion to be laid to rest as clarity emerges from the west. Nurturing your dreams as the Earth Mother nourishes us all. So watch the sunset because that's where the clarity is going to come from. Bear in the contrary position is teaching you that only through being your own advisor can you attain your true goals. Anything less than doing of that which gives you the most joy is denial. I think this is a really important sentence. Anything less than doing of that which gives you the most joy is denial. So if you like to paint, but you never paint, that's denial. If you like to do music, but you never do it, that's denial. You can go to Egypt and see denial. To achieve happiness, you must know yourself. To know yourself is to know your body, your mind, and your spirit. Use your strengths to overcome your weaknesses and know that both are necessary in your evolution. In other words, if you find yourself in a time of weakness, that teaches you about how to become strong. You learn what your courage is. I'm gonna dance my butt off. What? I heard that bear. Wait, I heard the barred owl this morning, the fox and the owl. How about that? Hey, Brandy, how are you? 12:11. Yeah, we're coming up on. I got 111, 111 right now. So yeah, we got a 20 coming up, and I'm almost done with this reading. So only through being your own advisor can you attain your true goals. And get advice from other people. If you're looking at building a house, go talk to a couple of architects or builders or somebody. You might have a good design, but it may be really difficult to build. Just saying. But if you like to do something but you don't do it, it's like there was years ago. My last wife, she was part Blackfeet from Minnesota up in their area stuff. But anyway, she was like, there were times when I wanted to play the flute, but she was like, "What are you going to do? Play the flute? Who do you think you are? Some kind of flute player?" She didn't like me to play music. She didn't. She just no. You know, there was quite a few things, but we'll just stick with that one. So this one guy told me, he goes, if you're supposed to play music and you don't, and you hold it in, it'll become a disease. And he was right. So, but that is, and if you deny that which gives you joy, then what's the point, right? So, to achieve happiness, you must know yourself. Use your strengths to overcome your weaknesses, and know that both are necessary. Journey with Bear to the quietness of your cave and hibernate in silence. Dream your dreams and own them. Then in strength, you will be ready to discover the honey waiting inside the tree of life. So, I so many things with this thing about regain your authority, and the things that I saw in the news today. And oh, Brandy's got a birthday. Happy birthday, Scorpio, right? I think. But anyway, so with all that's going on, it wouldn't hurt us a bit to take some of our authority back, and watching the people in New York City, respond to the mandate, and the folks at GE who walked out, to the folks who down here in South Georgia that walked out of the hospital, to those people, my hat is off. They have a crap load of courage, don't you know? So we need to be kind and send prayers to these people. And we don't know their names, but I think they deserve a standing ovation, in my personal opinion. and that, people should not call them, oh, look at those anti-vaxxers and look at them. And no, those folks are showing courage. Those folks are showing some moxie, some chutzpah. You know what I mean? So, oh my God. Now, what does that mean for the future? I think it's showing the world, because folks in France have been doing it, folks overseas have been doing it, folks in all these other places have been doing it, and we kind of been quiet, right? And then, all them folks showed up on the Brooklyn Bridge today. And what New York City kind of does, what Chicago's doing, what other folks are doing, is people are looking at that going, well, now, see, I don't feel alone in this. I feel like I'm part of the group, you know? I want to say no. I don't want to be forced into doing it, so I stand with these people. So take our authority back. So I would say to you, those folks, 10 or 11 folks that are in here now, blessings to you, because listen, we carry this forward. We show other people, say, what do you think about the people in the Brooklyn Bridge? What did you think about the people at GE? Let us, yeah, yes, taking a stand, you know, and it's not to stand up against, but it's taking authority for ourselves, basically, and saying, no, I'm sorry, um, um, you know, but I don't have a gun permit, but I'm thinking, somebody else up there's going, I'm sorry, but I have a gun permit. What does that mean? Well, I'm standing up and I'm taking authority for myself and my family. Oh, and by the way, I have a gun permit. Just saying, just as an aside to the conversation. Oh, okay. Just saying. Not saying there's going to be a fight, but you know, um, speaking of gun, we got 20 coming up in 3. I got some in here in my bowl. Now y'all have probably heard about the Alex Baldwin thingy and that. Now I've been on stage. We've had real guns as props in some of the shows that we've done. I have loaded them myself with blank cartridges. 22 pistol, get a 22 pistol, short shot blanks. And I would be the one that took care of the gun. I put it up at night. I took care of it, the person who had it, but there were still blanks, but we didn't want any flash going off in anybody's face or anything like that. So I have literally had on several sure enough stage productions with people just right in front of you, right? Studio kind of thing. And to where you surely don't want any kind of accident with any kind of weapon or whatever like that. So, but for this, the people that I worked with on stage, okay, now ain't no big movie producer or anything like. We didn't have people who dealt with the firearms people and who did all no, because as a director, assistant director, or actor, whatever, you had become responsible for your prop. Okay, that's the big thing. You have to be responsible for your own prop. What we got? We got what, 2 or 3 minutes left? Yes. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. We love you. Yes, we do. Oh, happy birthday, Brandy. Yes, we do. Happy birthday, and made it well for you. Da 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 da. Okay, happy birthday. I mean that with love and affection. It's 119. It's almost 120. But so for this thing here, um, For him to have picked up a pistol and not actually checked it himself. Thank you, Michelle. I knew you brought up the 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 trailer tail end. I didn't want to say it that way, but anyway. So for him to just like pick up a gun, oh, it's been laying around, they took it out and used it and put real bullets in it or something like that, um, to me is insanity. It was more than carelessness, okay? It is beyond carelessness because as an actor and all the actors I've worked with on stage, none of these are professionals, right? It was all community theater, but we still had to deal with a firearm or a pistol or something, right? And we all dealt with it with extreme caution because of all of the above. So the fact that he gets a loaded weapon with no one checking at all, ever, nobody just nonchalantly, here's a gun, points it, and it kills a person and wounds another, is to me, the whole crew ought to be put in, ought to be up for manslaughter, not just him. He may pull the trigger, but whoever the person in charge of the weapons person thingy, they should be up for manslaughter or second degree murder because it's almost like a premeditated murder. They knew he was going to pull the gun and shoot it at the camera. Now, see, the report that I heard was that they had been going out back and shooting real bullets in the guns. Now, that right there is a no-no. And that's how a live round was left in the gun so that when he quote fired it, but nobody checked. I mean, what? The first thing anybody does in any kind of thing for me and for other folks is to eject it to make sure there's not anything in the damn chamber is and or to break, for us it was a revolver, so you broke it back and you checked the rounds, knowing I would meet with me and one other person made sure that it was only blanks that went into the gun. That's all we had, but somebody could have come up and slipped a 22 short into the chamber, sure, but no, none of us had that, but we still, even though nobody had any real 22 rounds, we still went through it every single time because I didn't want anything, no way, right? So the fact that these folks did what happened, I have to ask a question. And, you know, that someone may have been up for, and it may have been one or two of the people that he shot. He might not know had willingly known it, but I think he was set up, okay? Because in certain things, there have to be sacrifices made, all right? And that too many hands, too many people, and how the gun got out there. I'm sorry. I'm the actor. I'm going to check that chamber, right? And I'm going to ask the property manager. I'm not just going to assume shit. And, he's been around a long time. There's too much carelessness. Something is fishy in the fishiness. I'm just saying, to leave a live round. That a live round would be anywhere near the set. You hear me? Because it was sets and stuff in the shows that I've been in with the blanks and so there were no other guns or bullets laying around. So why would there be live rounds at all at the set? Period. Regardless if it was left in the gun or not, but why were there live rounds on the set? Just saying, Um, sacrifice, absolutely, especially in Hollywood. Yep. I actually, after hearing it and watching and going over it and so forth, and just kind of mulling it over without, like trying to get into a lot of detail. But what I know about, working on set for theater, and people around and dress and folks, and you got folks in the audience that are watching for costume, or so if that were true on the community theater, one of us would have been out there on stage and would have shot some their hairdresser who was watching the rehearsal, or somebody in props that was looking at the stage, so the idea, though, that nobody checked and it went that far is just way too fishy. Way, way, way too fishy. Somebody needs to go down for something. I'm just saying. Um, you know. Now, hopefully, he feels bad enough. You know. But whoever was responsible for it, they really ought to be in the task. So, but we'll see. But anyway, but in real life, they were looking at illusion, okay, having to do with going into the dream lodge, all right, so that was to them. They're playing in the movies, and it was illusion, but real life kicked in with a real live round, and someone was killed on set. Well, was wounded, died later, but so must have went through one person and into the next, right? For that to happen, which is kind of interesting in and of itself. But they would have been probably pretty close. But two for one shot. No, supposedly the woman killed her husband, just won a case over the Clinton Foundation. Really? Camera person girl was killed and the director got hurt. Yeah, but see, so I didn't even look into that part of it. I just looked into the fact that from me being a director, having worked with guns and people and stage and so forth, something's up, something's fishy. That's all. Now we can add all these other things to it and go, yeah, that's really fishy, right? Uh, but to my point, I just nah, no, something's up. So, but anyway, in this time of confusion, and 7 minutes past the 20, and you let me miss it. But so, 7 minutes late, seven's a lucky number, right? So we'll just go with that. Happy 20 late. But in the message for tonight, hey Mary, how are you? In the message for today, tonight, with the bear card and my throwing in the courage, that there are a lot of people who are showing courage. So in this event of the shooting thing, accident, whatever, setup, somebody should be held responsible. Well, that's the big thing. Do I think it should have been Alex? It depends. Was he in on it, kind of thing, or was he the scapegoat? Okay, and I would be more inclined, because of his kind of behavior, that he's the scapegoat, that he would be the perfect person to blame, because of who he is and his outspoken and this and that and his blah, 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 that he could get away with it versus somebody else, like the props person, right? Oh, let's blame it on Alex. Well, maybe not. We'll see how this goes. But to this, the thing about justice. So I think enough of us need to just say, look, I'm not saying we should all point our fingers at Alex and say he's the guy. Uh, Another Clinton body. Yeah, there you go. But it's more of that, as Bear seeks truth, how much of this is how much justice will come out of this. Okay. Let's kind of just leave it in those terms. Where the right person will anything will just stuff go just disappear. What kind of justice will come out of this? Without putting blame or anything, just but you know what I mean? Will they treat it correctly? Will they go into the detail? Will they, will this be like Nicole Kidman, not Kidman, Nicole, and what's his name, and OJ thing, if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. God, where the hell did that memory come from? But anyway, yeah, Project, it just smells of something. Just saying. Now, if he like took aim at her and then witnesses say that he didn't just point the gun at the camera, but of course, if he pointed it at the camera, he's pointing it at the camera person. But anyway, so but with this understanding, um, you know, um, in everything else that's going on, where do we see the justice in it? So, for example, all them folks from New York City, will they see justice in the next couple of days? The folks at GE, will they see justice in the next couple of days? Will the cops and folks in Chicago, will they, see justice in the in the future? Let's just put it that way, in the future. or or is it just going to kind of disperse at times the way it does? There was a problem, and then all of a sudden, and these people talked, and these people, it went before Congress, and then they did this, and nothing ever really happened. And time went by, and people look around and go, "What happened? Nothing, nothing." They talked it to death, and it just disappeared on its own, like poof, magic, right? So I'm just curious. And I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but there are people in higher places because I've worked for large corporations, and those people are sitting around a desk because I have listened to some of these dumbasses over. What a dumbass, just and go shake my head. I was at an engineers meeting one time up in Toronto, as a matter of fact. I'm sorry, not Toronto. Across the river from Detroit. Anyway, but the engine plant there, and we're having this conversation. Now I'm the engineer down in Georgia who is working on all of the machines that make these spark plug wires, right? And me and my supervisor and one other engineer there to listen to the complaints of the Ford guys. And they're talking about, well, your product just isn't right, and there's such and such. And then we go, okay, so um, to the engineers at Ford engine plant, uh, I can't remember the name of that town across the river. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They made V6s, right? So in there watching them, and so they take us down into what they call the hairpin. Now these motors are like 3 and 4 levels high, going in, engines going this way, a level down, the engines are going this way. You come down a level, the engines are going this way. And there are different stages of being put together. And so when it gets down into the hairpin, it's like it literally, there's all this space on all these things where these motors are going through these, down these chain thingies, and to where they're putting the spark plug wires and certain things on the engine. So there's several things happening. So they made this honest to God like hairpin turn in this area so they could do all these things in a short distance. From over here to over here was just a couple of feet. And but anyway, so we go down there, and there's in this insertion point that putting a spark plug wire on over a spark plug. And so they're complaining that these things are, that they've been there are cracks in the rubber. And when they go to do a zap test to make sure there are no electronics zapping, shorting out anywhere, they find, these cracks in these rubber boots. So it was all our fault. Well, when we saw them, watched them, they were using a mallet, okay, a mallet they would put the boot over the top of the spark plug and not even line it up. Instead of just giving it a tap, they were whacking the bejeebers out of these things. Whap, whap, whap. And we turned to the engineers and you said, you think your problem is with us? When you look at these guys who are supposed to be doing this by hand or whatever, or even a soft mallet, oh no, these guys were whacking the crap out, and they blamed it on our procedures. And I looked at now my Donnie Brennan looked at me and he was like, "Now, Dave," and I said, "Donnie, I'm an independent contractor. I can say whatever I want." But you as for Ford working as a manager, I said it doesn't matter to you. I said, but I'm an independent contractor. I can tell these crazy people that they're crazy to their face. And you can go, well, now look, he's an independent, and you can get away with it, but I can bitch him out. you know and you won't get in trouble. And he was like, well, I hadn't thought of it like that. So I called him out and I was like, do you actually think that as an engineer and I'm talking for myself to all these guys around this table, all these 40, 50, $60,000, some of them $125,000 a year or more jobs, and they watch these guys put them on with a mallet, and they don't understand it's their own fault within their own system, within that hairpin turn. Nope, they called us to Canada to fix the problem. And I said, take the hammers away from them and that'll fix your problem right away. What? We can't do that because then they'll be complaining. I said, they switch out every 10 or 15 minutes, and they do one. They got like 2 minutes before the process changes. They got so the one guy, he gets up, he does 3 engines in a row, whap 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 whap, and then goes over and sits down for 10 minutes until it reaches the other side of the hairpin. Then he goes over, goes whap 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 whap, and puts the other side of the spark plug wire. And I'm like, what? So, but they couldn't see that they had four people sitting at a table playing cards. And so when it came time for the chains to move around and all of the engines to move, one person got up and said, okay, Joe, it's your turn. We'll hold your spot. He'd go up and bang, 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 or she would go over and bang, bang, bang. And it was like, then they'd go back to playing cards. The engine would come around to this side. Well, I'll get this one and get up. And they were playing cards. Four people to do this job. Not only that, but they were blaming the engines failing the spark test. What that it was, we were sending a faulty product to them in the first place. So logic, how much intelligence do you have? And sometimes I look at stuff and you go, you just got to be fucking killing me. Here's all these room full of brainiacs supposedly, and they can't see their own problem, and it takes some little jackass from South Georgia to come up and point it out to them. I did, but they went back and did take a look, and so they gave them different mallets, which I was all for at the time. I was like, if you're going to give them a mallet, I see it, but have them just take the time to make sure before they hit it that it's centered. Just put it in there, wiggle, tap, wiggle, tap, wiggle, tap. That ain't hard to do, but you just go blah, 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 blah. No. So you must be more strict with your workers because they're the fault for your problem. So sometimes you have to stand up, But my boss, he was ready to cringe and, oh, well, we'll work on it from our end. And I looked at him in front of all the other guys. I looked at him and I said, Donnie, there ain't shit we're going to go back home and fix because nothing's broken. And all the other engineers was like, what? And I was like, take that hammer out of them guys' hands down there. And my boss was going, Dave, get up. I'm like, dude, man, come on. Tell them the truth, stand up, right? Take authority. We were just getting a raw deal, and whether or not I worked for, um, Ford, particularly in and of itself, but I was standing up for all the people that made that product back in Georgia, saying, we're not making the bad product. You're idiot people down the line are to blame. So, but anyway, what's going on with stuff right now is there are people who are they're looking at the answer right in front of them, but ain't nobody got the cojones, to stand up and take authority and go. What I mean is, of all the engineers in there from Ford, that none of them would say anything. You know why? Because of the union. If you said one of their workers wasn't doing something right, then the union rep came in and then the union had to do this. But the engineers had to realize it wasn't us. That's the bottom line. You go talk to your union reps and whatever, and you guys work it out. But them guys are to blame. Them folks right there sitting there playing cards and banging the crap out. We stood there for 30 minutes and it was like, oh crap, they're just laying around. One's reading a book, and they're making like $20 an hour, $22.50 an hour up there at Winchester, I think it is, Canada. So we have to go down deep into what is the problem. And hey, Cherry, how are you? Hope you are doing well. You're in Missouri, excuse me, the show me state. Yep. I like Missouri too. I've been in several places there. Missouri's a nice place. But so in the long and the short of what's going on now that's just my little explanation of the engineers, but I know what the engineers from GE and then folks that were standing outside and with their protest thing, I could kind of feel just by looking at some of these folks because they were like, in their 50s and, we're sorry, but no, you know. And the knowledge that I saw in this one row of folks, engineers, whatever they are, they know a lot of stuff. And for GE to lose that knowledge would just be plumb stupid. Okay. And if ain't nobody got sick up to now, shut up. This mandate stuff, we got to stand up. Now, I don't want to be kicked off of YouTube, but and if anything happened, you should check other platforms because I was talking with Robert tonight, and I do discuss some things in detail, but I don't have thousands of subscribers. I love you all; you're my family. But I've looked for some folks that I hadn't seen in a while, and there's no trace of them on YouTube at all that they even existed. You know, gone. In my liked videos, gone. They never existed. Just, not a little icon in a thing, gone. I mean, they wiped these folks out, okay? And I'll mention his name, Mr. Cat Eye, and he was always doing numbers things and projecting and stuff, and he was getting too close, and he knew it. But I don't know if they literally took him out, but they took his channel down and all of his stuff and years of his discussion and things. So very interesting. And he worked for the government. We also need to remember in this taking back our authority. It's not now. It could be a Republican and it could be a Democrat. Because if you listen to some of the stuff that AOC has discussed, I shake my head and go, do you actually believe her, what she just said? I mean, and, Nancy, P, and this person and that. And you go, you really, honest to God, believe that shit? I mean, I'm sorry, but when I was a Democrat, I looked at it and went, what? No, 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 no. I don't feel like that. That's why I ain't a Democrat no more. I'm not necessarily a Republican, but that damn sure ain't no Democrat. And what happened from the days of, JFK, and when I wanted to when I wanted to vote, when I turned 18, because they had dropped the vote to 18. You still couldn't buy beer until you were 21, but you could vote at 18 and go to Vietnam and all that. That's what was going on back then. But as soon as I got a chance to vote, I was like, I was there. I'm a grown up now. I get to vote. And then all of this stuff that's happened over the years, and it's just like, you just got to scratch your head and go, you know, they've been lying to us the whole time. They have not once told us the damn truth. The fix is in, gang. Uh, but so, but there are Democrats who are good people. There are Republicans who are good people. But then there are folks above each one of those groups that are still doing the numbers, right? So they're pushing particular things, big business, billionaires, folks, and higher entities. Okay, do you hear me? So a lot of people don't want to believe that, but yeah, there are angel entities that are trying to intervene and keep shit from getting out of hand. There are, the sort of reptilian kind of folks, and they're not your general reptilian, but they're bad enough. And then there's the other side, and they're just as bad as the reptile kind of folks is. And but and both groups at some point want to take us out. So one's over the Republicans and one's over the Democrats. And so when you look at it, there's no justice in any of it. None. Hunter Biden, why isn't he 6 feet under a jail somewhere? Why isn't some of these other things? Why? Why? Because there's no justice in that realm of society. There's scapegoats. There are people who get shot with blank guns. A true blank gun would have a bar across the inside so that a projectile couldn't come out. It would backfire and hurt the gun holder. So, not a true blank gun, is it, y'all? So, just saying. Um, but where is the justice in all of this? You know, I had a drug crime, right? So, how come I can't buy a gun? Well, because drugs are related to guns and things. And yeah, but I was arrested, with marijuana, with no guns, no, didn't try to resist arrest. I put my hands up right away. I could see that sniper in that helicopter. I was like, no, you don't shoot. I'm, got no guns here. But the fact that, but the thing is, I didn't have a gun on me, but back in the back closet, I had a 20 gauge single shot break barrel shotgun, literally for vermin or rattlesnakes, right? Because back then I needed it. So they confiscated the gun. All right. Now it was unloaded in the back of the closet. They were searching everywhere for stuff, and they found it. So what it was obvious it wasn't out in plain sight or anything like that. So now when I went to court, did my hearing, did my thing, talked with the district attorney and everything, and they said, okay, now my brother, who is a Navy veteran, who has a gun license, the whole 9 yards, um, went to go get the gun, and it was going to be given to him. He had signed these papers, so they went to the evidence room to get this, like Smith and it was a really nice shotgun, single barrel 20 gauge, and the gun wasn't in evidence. What? That 20 gauge never made it to the evidence locker. So they wanted to charge me with this and that. I was like, where did the gun go? It says right here on my arrest record, 20 gauge shotgun, blah, 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 blah. Where's the gun? Well, what do you mean, Mr. No? Where's the gun? What'd you do with it? It should be in the properties room. I mean, it's only been like 3 weeks. Where's the gun? You charged me for it? You said I'm guilty of it. So produce the weapon. Gone. What? So my brother goes down to the sheriff's department. I'm talking to my attorney. He's like buddies at the lunchroom with the district attorney, small town stuff. And nobody can find this 20 gauge. It never, if it made it to it never got signed in. It never got a number. Obviously, I had a case number because of the thing and the police report on. And so it's like, where's the gun? Now, a similar event happened down in Tampa when I was busted down there. We had a rifle and a shotgun in the back seat, but it was under a bunch of clothes and stuff. And I don't think it was loaded. Mine wasn't, that's for sure. But mine was a 22 Remington Western style cock like you'd see in the movies. A beautiful gun, and used it for hunting rabbit and squirrel and stuff like that. And we had come down to go hunting on some property down in Florida. And then on our way back home, that's when we got busted with the guns in the back seat. So same thing happened. It's on the, I was arrested. They're giving me, I'm arrested with firearm in the vehicle. Okay. But so where is it? They couldn't find it. They couldn't find Butch's shotgun either. There was testimony that, he said, well, when I opened it up, I uncocked the shotgun and a shell came popping out. And I was like, well, we had been down on their property down there, and we were hunting. But the fact that he left a shell in it was kind of weird. For Butch was like, we must have just got stoned because, but there wasn't any bullets in my rifle. So, but where are the weapons? You're charging me with, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, but you can't. So twice that I have been arrested, once down in Florida that time, no weapon, couldn't find it, no number, it never made it to evidence. Same thing up here in Georgia. That 20 gauge never made it to the sheriff's office. Justice, thievery, let's look at this. This is my life. I can kind of sort of prove this, because there are police records and things, right? Of course, they dropped the gun charges because they couldn't find them. Of course, I wasn't using them and they weren't out in the open and all that kind of stuff, which does matter in the overall. But to the point of the matter is that who got the weapons? Where'd the guns go? Somewhere within the police department, somewhere, within the sheriff's department down in Tampa, where I was arrested. It would have been the sheriff's department, and also the sheriff's department when I got busted here at my house. So I want to see where the justice is. Will there be any at all? Well, here's something. Will somebody that's already part of this affair, like a props person in something. Now, I do not wish any harm on anyone, but as fishy as this smells, it almost smells like somebody else is going to get hurt. I hope not, but that's kind of sort of a prediction, They're going to shoot themselves or they're going to feel guilty. I'm just saying. We'll see how this pans out. So, what does that have to do with tonight's subject of courage and the bear? Because we have to. have the courage to stop and look at some of this stuff and go, I'm sorry, I just ain't buying this, you know? Now, is there anything I can do about, the shooting and the thing and the bullet? I cannot believe the story. I cannot go, well, he must have been, and blah, blah, blah. I ain't buying it, sorry. And just like, there are people who are saying that, there were only 3 shots heard that day in Dealey Plaza with, Kennedy, when there were shot marks in the pavement in the middle of the road, shots missed, fired, and somebody got hit that was on the other side of the road with a shard of the cement curb. There are pictures of it. It got them in the eye. They had to go to the hospital, and these people were later found dead. So a lot of the witnesses from JFK, thingy over the course of years ended up dead or something happened to them. It's like, what? Curiosity. Nobody really asked that question, 2, 3 years later to go find this person. Well, they died in an accident. Well, their house blew up. Well, a tornado struck this guy and, they found him in a storm drain. What? But to the point, so where is the justice at all? Because there are folks that they don't work in the same realm that we do. So should we get upset because they operate in a different realm? We're all hoping that somebody, we get on the Brooklyn Bridge and say, hey, this is what we think about you guys or gals or folks or whatever. This is what this is how we feel about this. Okie doke. Now you want to get serious, but this is how we feel about it. Now you either listen to us or you don't, but the more of us who take back our authority. So my dear friends who I'll probably be in touch with in the next week or so, when these things hit the schools, I talked about this last week. I've been so praying and drumming and please, Jesus, this cannot happen. They're going to be having it at the schools. So while you're at work or whatever, at home or something like that, and your kid's at school, and they say, oh, look, the nurse is here. Everybody roll up your sleeve. What are the little kids going to do? Fight and scream and go, no, mommy, 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 bam, and it's done. Seriously? Oh, if they do, people should sue and sue and sue and sue and sue. And somebody needs to take that geek up there that can't remember his name, and if folks don't see that, wait a minute, how many school children are going to have to die before they go, wait a minute, maybe this wasn't such a good idea. Oh, but it was a special one that they made up just safe for kids, right? And this is the week they're supposed to roll it out. And they are. It's coming around. So, hey, Mary, what? You need some healing energy? Okay. Transmuter. Oh, me? Thank you. But so, ever since I found out about this the other day, I have this aching in my heart. And I'm like, there's just something about this that I really, just so I don't normally like try to get into worrying about things beyond my control kind of thing. But I'm going to worry about it and I'm going to drum about it and I'm going to sing about it. I'm going to dance about it. I'm going to talk about it because we need to put energy in there and we need to, if to take, I can't go to the school board and say this is a bad idea because they don't have anybody in school. I pay school taxes though and shit on my property tax every year, which is due, by the way. So as a taxpayer, I have the authority to be able to stand up and go, wait a minute, I think this is wrong, but well, do you have any children in school? Well, no, but I got a grandchild I think is still in school. I, haven't talked to his parents in a while, but I'm sure that, regardless if he's already had his shot, well, but the idea that you're going to make him and you're going to go into the school where the parents aren't around and you're going to do this kind of sort of underhanded. So I think there are a lot of us that are feeling the pangs of this energy. And I just refuse to give up. I mean, it's to the point of, kind of feeling oppressive to me. And so I pulled the card and need that courage of bear to go, no, let's stand up and retake back our authority. Let's and but here's the example. So pulling the card and then seeing it at the same time, the synchronicity is like, yeah, okay. It seems like the right thing to do. You know what I mean? So whether or not you believe in the cards of the picking or me or whatever, but the fact that it, the synchronicity of the card and what I read, and when you look at the general overall of stuff, people need that, and they are taking back their authority, and we need to encourage that. You know, and make sure that we just say we're tired of y'all trying to put this scare mode into us all the time. Now I'm scared you're going to give it to the kids. I wasn't scared about the kids getting it, the thing, because those kids that did would just sloughed it right off. So, it's like wasn't even registered in how many kids under the age of, even the kids know the statistics. I mean, Miss Emmett rattled off the statistics for her age group. And like, no, I'm not, but none of us are getting it, and blah 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 blah. And we figured out the masks are stupid, so they pull it down and just enough, and they've learned these tricks to get away from getting in trouble with the teachers. So she told me, she said, uh, Mr. Dave, she said, what all this stuff has done is made us school kids more sneakier. That's what, from a 13-year-old, in school. No, it just made us sneakier. Now, ain't that one hell of an observation from a kid in school? Holy crap, you know? Holy crap. So, my support is for freedom of choice, period. And I don't think you need any stinking reason that, well, you have to have some kind of medical or religious. Okay, I'm a Christian and God told me no, period. Well, what? You're going to question me? You're going to question my belief in God and in Jesus? And hang on, folk, here. Wait a minute now. You're going to persecute me because Jesus told me in my heart not to do this? What kind of proof do you need? Why can't you just say no? You know what I mean? So, but Cherry, hope there's a lot of negative and a lot of folks out there, but on the same side of the coin, there's a lot of hope out there already being seen. Let's give these folks a standing ovation, and let's give them our love and support. If it's just through our prayers to the universe, we say, I don't know those people on the bridge tonight or today when I was watching the clips. And I just kept thinking, man, I don't know who all you people are, but you folks are my heroes. The folks at the GE, when I saw the clips of that, I was like, I've worked for major corporations and stuff, but I know where you guys are literally standing, your position in this, and you're saying no, and you're going, mm-mm. And having been there and having had to stand up, and I know what that feels like. So it takes courage and chutzpah and cojones, all of the above. Even for the ladies, there are some folks that are, they're just like, uh, my niece Jennifer. When I was up there visiting her this summer, she was like, was talking conspiracies things. Hey, Niles, how are you? But she was like, no, me and my girls, oh, no. And I was like, well, what about this? She goes, no, it's a test. No, there's not been enough time. No, me and my girls, no, period. None of this, what we have chats with about and things and stuff. Nope. Don't care what it is or isn't. Nope. You just ain't making us do it. That's it. So I know there's going to be some arguments, and she knows folks up there at up around Atlanta and so forth, and that are, guess what? They're saying the same thing. They're going, nuh-uh. And the thing is that if everybody in the neighborhoods were being sick and this thing, and it just ain't that. It at this point after 2 years, it's so overblown. Why would you insist on the school kids? The only reason is you got a nefarious something behind this, because of the people who have bad reactions, to people who have died after the shots, to the people who have like sit like this and go, I just had the shot. Look at me. You go down and get your shot too, and go into convulsions. So it's like the reality of that. It's not on there, and people who discuss it, are adios. So in the overall look at things, is all we want is the truth. And for those people who would chose to get sick over it versus having, the inoculation, that, it's my choice, period. If everybody around me's already had theirs, then what y'all worried about my skinny ass for? Seriously, you know, why are you worried about me if y'all have already had? Why are you worried about me? You've already got, why are you worried about me? It's almost like I'm a zombie. You must become a zombie too. I'm a zombie. You're a zombie. We're a zombie too. I'm a zombie. You're a zombie. We're a zombie through. Zombie. Oh, zombie. Oh, I'm a zombie. You're a zombie. I'm a zombie too. And let's all get the shot. Then we'll be zombies too. Okay. That should be a Broadway play right there. Zombies, zombies, everywhere you go. Zombie, zombie. Oh, don't you know a zombie here, a zombie there, a zombie way over there. Zombie, zombie, zombies. Take your shot and be aware. Oh, God. We're coming up on a 20. I've been doing this now for 2 hours here and an hour and a half with Robert, so I'm already on 4 hours. Um, Only you and your guilty conscience are worried about you. Okay. You can't get inside aluminum camper. Yeah, that's true. Especially if the signal's weak to begin with, right? Yep. Well, so I'm going to hang out with you for the next 15 minutes, and then I'm going to say adios for the morning. It's 2:09 a.m. in the Eastern Daylight Time here in Southwest Georgia. We're supposed to have some rain coming in. There's supposed to be, some stuff going on in the Midwest. Be careful out there. Um, oh man, I'm sore. I picked up more concrete to kind of sort of. I'm pretty much done for the evening with the topic, but I just think we should give kudos and gold stars to those folks who are standing up and have the courage. And that's basically it. So, Jeannie Houdini, he hasn't in the past, but, it's okay. I can take it. Um, I don't feel guilty about anything at the moment. Haven't in a while because I pretty much, bared my soul for everybody to, to see. And something happened the other day, and this little thing came up in my head, and I was like, Nunya. In fact, I even thought about doing a video about Nunya, but I've been tossing over in my head how I wanted to spell it and how I wanted to present it. But Nunya. And with that said, that it basically is like, it's none your damn business. And it was about something else, and I won't bring it up, not trying to rehash it, but I was like, quite frankly, it's Nunya. That's just way over what you know this person was trying to something. And I was like, no offense, but I have like opened my soul about everything on this channel, and you asked me about something, and I'm like, but it's none of you, it's none of your dang business. You're being a little too personal when I thought I had pretty much but it was a little interesting. And so, and how I dealt with it was interesting on my behalf, because I really wanted to like scream and cuss and just like, shoot him a bird and this kind of thing. And I was like, no, I have to look at it as it's a nunya. It's none your business. I have stated my business and folks and things and how I feel. Here's my face on all over the world, as Robert would say. People know me all over the world. It only might be one or two people in Australia, but they know me, right? So, and I'm grateful for that. Don't get me wrong, because I never expected any of this. But the fact that I just sit here and share stories with you, it's up to you, whether you take the message of bear, and that through introspection we find our courage and we take back our authority. If that's some kind of supernatural hocus pocus, or maybe just an affirmation that in there is, we can keep righteous within ourselves. You and me, we can be honorable to ourselves if nobody else, right? uh to thine own self be true, right? So I find zombies very entertaining. Yeah, I've seen it. I watched The Cell again, the movie, because they compelled me to. And Tubi it was going to, I think that it is expected that people will come in and out, offer opinion. Yeah, I go on for hours. I didn't think you were attacking me, Niles. I didn't take it that way. Yeah, I do go on for hours. And sometimes, but in my defense, though, there are times where they won't let me shut up. And then, but to the same point, then somebody else will come on and go, "Hey, Dave, how you doing? I'm glad I caught you live." And I go, "Well, I was fixing to get off, but since you're here, I'll hang out a little longer than another 2 hours goes by." So, and that is the truth in that. But in talking with folks tonight, it's like since I've started this channel and been with y'all, uh, I don't need to sit up and talk to y'all, you know, as far as to get, um, I'm not seeking attention, you know. So, and my friend was here earlier this evening, and he was like, "You're going to do a live stream tonight?" And I said, "Yeah, we're going to do another story hour with, Milky Way Soul Tribe." And I hadn't thought about following up until I pulled that card. And then so I thought to myself, well, I'll go ahead and follow this up because I'm wound up and already kind of sort of connected. The subject mind's going through my head. Let me go ahead and get it out because otherwise, I'll try to sleep or get it. And they don't let me do that. They make me get all lighted and talk about it. Oh, Niles, I got sciatica too. You know, I get it. And I've had sciatica go down my left leg, the front of it. I'm used to getting it down the back and sort of, but this is like almost hit the floor kind of thing. But yeah, I'm sorry. I feel it too. And it's a bitch. It really is. It's a bitch. But I stretch and I crack some bones and do my stretching, and it helps sometimes. And then I can lay back down when I get up to go pee, which is frequently. I do. I have a loft right here, and I can thank God it's there because it helps me get up out of this chair sometimes. But but I hang from it and let my back, just the weight of me, and I stretch my back and stretch my muscles, and sometimes I'll get that kink out, and the pain will go away. I did it earlier this evening and thought I was gonna die because instead of it feeling better, it got like really worse, really fast, like instantly. And I was like, "This is a bad idea." But I know better. I had to hang from my loft right here long enough to like get it back in place. And so for whatever it is, I don't know if it's the same for other people, but I know that with all the spinal injuries and operations on my neck and all this stuff, that there are certain things we can do with our spine that will help us. It might not cure us, but it will help us. And one of the things is to hang. Like if I didn't get vertigo and shit, the I've got several friends who have those teeter things, where they tip upside down. And I've had somebody discuss it, and they go, this didn't work for me. I was disoriented and that kind of thing. And I get it. Hey, Katniss, how are you? Good title. You like that, eh? Thank you very much. I mean it. Your compliments. I'm humbled by them, but it encourages me. Is like good. You kind of see where I was going with that. Good. It's scary when you cannot walk and you need groceries and there is nobody around. I understand, Niles. I live 10 miles to that store and 8 miles to this store, but that's 16 miles or 20 miles because you got to come back. 3 minutes. Thank you, Mary. Oh, thank goodness you were keeping an eye out. So, and for me and my crazy self, I went into town to get my other truck part because I found out to replace one, I was going to have to take this whole throttle body thing off the top of the engine, right? Not a big deal, but then if this part that I've already bought didn't work, then this other part that I wanted to buy, it was going to be my next choice. And in doing so, I was going to have to take the throttle body off again. And I was like, no, that's stupid. So I ordered the part, went and got it today. Damn near didn't make it back from town. Uh, Buy on your back. Oh, lay on your back, legs up in a chair and flatten your back against the floor. That also may help. Yep. One of the things I learned a long time ago when I was getting physical therapy for myself, I was also learning physical therapist from the therapist where I was getting it from. He was an independent therapist, worked for a doctor down there in Tampa. His real name was James Durant. So he was Jimmy Durante. And he was funny. He was good. He helped many people learn to walk. He helped me out with my therapy and salt baths and whirlpool. And he learned, teach me how to walk again after being in a cast for a year and a half, you know. So I did therapy with him 3 times a week to learn how to walk. So, but understanding that though, but being there, and I would ask him, I said, so why'd you do that to that person for? Now I'm 15 years old, right? But I'm learning all this therapy stuff. And because I worked with the football team as the manager, I could also wrap ankles. We had a guy from University of Tampa that was our, you know, he would come over and wrap ankles. He was our trainer, right? And so we had, you know, whirlpools and things there at Tampa Catholic for folks who got injured and so forth. So I was very much aware of this at a very early age where a lot of people never got any kind of training whatsoever. And then when I moved to Georgia, I worked some with the pediatrics. Is it time? From Kansas. It is. It's time. Okay. So, well, I'll share a moment. Hey, Fox, how are you? Cobra Pose. So, what I've learned is what we called back then a roll. So, it's basically you would roll up a towel and put it under your lower back. Now, I did this with the children who had spinal bifida and all these other kinds of things uh, that, you know, because I worked with handicapped children, cerebral palsy or cerebral palsy, as some folks call it, but cerebral palsy, and I mean, very bad, just literally their bodies twisted up, little children. And in my compassion and you know, I was like, there's something I got to be able to do for these kids, and we did. I built a whirlpool, and I did therapy and massage, and I taught some of the other uh, um, teachers and folks there how to do massage on the hands and stuff. So, you know, they'd be there, you know, poor little, she's not little anymore, but poor little Lisa Rigsby, you know, would sit in her wheelchair like this. Mr. David, Mr. No, you know, I can't hold my cup. I want to drink, right? Simple thing, two-handed cup, right? She can't grab it because her hands are so stiff. So you do a little bit of therapy with her, you do a little bit of oil on her hands, and you loosen up the muscles, and you give a little bit of tightness because the tightness in the hands actually start in the forearm. So you relax the forearm and the hands relax. And now after 10 or 15 minutes, thank Mr. David, and she can drink out of her sippy cup by herself. Now, what's wrong with that? You know what I mean? So, but there are many things in life that you know we can do. So, but sometimes a simple hanging off of the back of a couch, or it depends on how bad your situation is. But to the point though, when I had my neck surgery, and I asked the doc after the surgery because I watched him from overhead, what it was that thing that was attached to my head, right? Well, after they put you knock you out, they put this weird strap thing around your head that supports your chin and your cranium, and they tie it, you know, and then put like a 50-pound weight off the end of the table, the operating table, and it and then your shoulders are held by these stops on the table, so your body can't go anywhere, and it literally the weight pulls the neck up apart and keeps it separated. Because after the surgery, I felt freaking great. I had just had major surgery on my neck. And I'm like, man, oh man, I haven't felt this good. My hands work. I don't have any pain. And 2 weeks later, that went away because the compression and gravity pulls you back down, right? So I asked him, I said, what's that? Right. And he was like, well, that's to separate the spine because then we just open you up and go in there and pluck that disc right out. And then we replace it with the bone or whatever they do nowadays. I have lost the tops of both the iliac crest on both hips for bone chips to fix my neck with. So been there, done that. But you know, even with as bad as my neck has been fused together all these years, I still have pretty decent motion for a man that's had 3 fused discs in his neck, right? So can you get better? Yeah. So in your back. So I keep this thought in my head, you know, yeah, it hurts, and yeah, I get sciatica, and yeah, it hurts like a. Don't get me wrong, man. There are folks, oh, well, you really don't hurt that bad. Oh, please. When you know when the light goes out in your eyes because it's blinding flash of pain. Yeah, I understand. You know, and I wish that on no one. So there are some people who, when I describe, you know, how bad is your pain, you know, my friend Marcia and some other people, because we all had similar issues, right? Sciatica and so forth. And so, and I've got scoliosis because one of my legs is shorter than the other. Um, it's only when you cannot get off the bed and you have burned all your bridges and nobody wants to know. That's humility. That you're very right. And for me, Niles, you know, me, if it weren't for having Duggar, and he's like looking at me and wagging his tail, and I'm like, I know, I got to get up. You know, I have to get up. You know, he needs to go for a walk. The cats need fed because they're scratching at the window. I really need to go to the store because I'm out of dog food. I got food for me. I'm good to go, but I got critters now that I have somehow attained. You know, I had 2 cats and now I have 7. I did not plan on this. You hear what I'm saying? But I love them all and I feed them, but they're a pain in the neck. But they also, you know, make me get up. And the fact that I do not want to wet myself, that gets me out of bed too. You know, so, but staying out of bed now or staying down, that's another story. But I got another truckload of cement today that I brought home after I got parts from my truck. Because we're supposed to have rain on Thursday. Depending on how I feel tomorrow, before the rain starts, I want to pour some cement. I really want to get started. I've got I didn't think I had enough mortar mix, so I got 2 more bags. So, but now I think I can do the brick around the front and down the side the way I want to. Before I just bought it, knowing I needed to lay some brick, but not really having a plan on how much it was and all that kind of stuff. But now I got some more. I got some more concrete, and but you know, I'm 69 years old. I'm mixing concrete. I'm doing these things with a bad back that I really shouldn't be doing at all, but I will literally stop and look up at the sky and ask the universe, guys, gals, folks, I really need to have the next couple of hours. I need you to help me override the pain. I need you to help me do this thing because it's real important. I finish this product, this project, and I really want to do it. And you know, here's all the good reasons and all this because I started. You know, so and then I get handed over to the universe. And there are times when I have to ask twice, sometimes halfway through, like, okay, guys, I'm not done yet, and I'm really hurting. You know, I need for you to grab me by the back of my drawers. You know, I envision a hand coming down from the sky and grabbing me by the belt in the back of my pants, right, to help hold me up. So I envision that, and I go, you know, then there are times when I can feel that tug and that support. And I go, okay, and I can finish whatever part of the project I got. 9 times out of 10, there are those few times where I'm either too tired or my back's too bad, or, you know, I've really bitten off more than I could chew, kind of thing. That they go, we'll help you up to a point, but you know, you got this one. I'm cutting back my garden plants tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, Barry, did you hear I said the other day I was pulling weeds right outside the house? I mean, like literally right outside the other side of this wall. I found 4 tomato plants that just came up all by themselves. Pearl, it's been good to hang out with you, and I sincerely love you too, baby. You keep them damn cookies to yourself. I'm kidding. I love you. Be safe. Thank you for what you do too. So, and I'm going to get off here in a minute, but I just wanted to, it's been interesting that, Creator gave me 4 tomato plants out here. And I'm thinking to myself, that spawned me into, well, they're healthy and I want to bring them in the house. And, if I had my porch that's supposed to be the greenhouse, they could thrive there. So now, um, Niles, I understand, because there are times I have laid on this on my and I've made this couch a bed because I can't get up and down the stairs like I could. So, I'm basically living in my living room. That's my bedroom as well. And there are times when it's all I can do to roll off to stand up. And like I was saying earlier, I got a loft so that I can reach up overhead right here. And so if I can't quite stand up straight, I grab a hold of the loft and hang from it and stretch my back until I can stand up straight or at least pretend it's straight. So I really do get it. Joe, I don't think you offended anybody. You're cool, brother. It's all right. But yeah, I was thinking about pain earlier today because I was going through so much of it with, bringing concrete home and doing all these other projects and stuff. And I really want to finish this project. So, am I going to be able to mix concrete tomorrow? I don't know. But I'm not going to say no now. I'm going to say I don't know because I don't. But I'm going to do my best to do something tomorrow before the rain comes, right? And if not, well, then it's supposed to rain on Thursday and clear up by Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then I got 3 days in a row that's going to be a lot chillier, cooler. Actually, kind of sort of help the cement set because it'll be colder, and the cement gives off heat. So you try to keep the cement cool so that it will cure properly. So so the temps will be lower. Well, that's not a bad thing. But in observing my porch that is going to be sort of more greenhouse than porch, but still a porch. It's amazing in watching the sun, how much sun actually hits this porch compared to the rest of the house, and how my windows are stuck in one place, and the sun comes and it heats up the inside of the house and all that, and that's all kind of groovy. But that room out there is going to get sun way before these windows do, and it's going to keep the sun right up at when these windows are at their most efficient at at noon kind of thing. It's going to be coming straight in the windows, and then but later on in the evening, I've noticed over there that there's still sunlight from the trees that hits the corner of where the porch is. So it's going to add so much more warmth to the house in general in the wintertime. Now it might be too damn warm in the summertime. We'll find out about that when that comes. But the trees come back and it gets shady. So it'll be mostly shade. But right now, observing the porch and its position with the sun and all the concrete, I think it's going to work pretty dang good as far as heat sink. One thing I've noticed about I've got a temporary door up that's been hanging for a couple of years to quote inspire me to finish it. All it's been is a pain in the ass. But anyway, it's a double paned uh, glass. Okay. And so standing out there today in nice bright sunshine, and I'm holding my hand beside the door and holding my hand behind the door. So sun's falling in on my hand here. The sun on my hand without the glass is like so much warmer, right? And but behind the double panes of glass, it was amazing. That second pane of glass really knocks out the solar energy that I normally get in here in the house because it's all single pane. So people say, "Why don't you put double pane in?" Because I'm not going to get any. It's going to cut down what it keeps from going out of the house, right? It's going to keep from coming in the house. So it cuts down on the amount of solar radiation, your irradiation and heat sink anyway. So it's like, but anyway. So, but with that porch out there, it's going to be single pane glass and large windows. It should act like a heat sink really good. Now, just know that you're not alone in this for real. I don't know how, to help you but just know that it move around. You got to, if you're in one spot, do something. There are times when I literally will throw a leg over one way or the other, to try to get my back to quit being, shut off to my legs, and reach down with my arm and hand and grab a hold of my leg or my pants leg or jammers or whatever, and literally pick my leg up. So, but you're not alone. I know it's a bitch. I know it hurts. But I only go to the store a couple of times a week. I'm sorry, a couple of times a month. But I've been to the store 3 times in this last week, and that's like a new record for me because I refuse to give up. I have to keep moving. So my stimulus is let me go. I want to finish the porch. I got to get some more concrete. I got to do these things. I got to get truck parts, which are all, you know. But in the past, I made excuses to not fix my truck. That's why it's been broke for so long. That's why I haven't finished the porch because I kept putting it off. So, but now I've taken back my authority to wrap this session up and said, no, wait a minute. I have allowed, I have released my authority, not to necessarily anybody or anything. I just didn't have it. And so now, in taking back my authority, I'm like, my truck is more fixed. I got a new radiator. It's working fine now. I fixed the battery issue. It does, my battery stays charged. I mean, all these things are like because I took back my authority on the things I needed to fix and do. So you can look at this as authority from a government and the shots and a mandate. Or for me, it's like fixing my truck, which should have been done long ago, taking back whatever authority I felt like I lost. Didn't even know I'd lost it. But anyway, but to the point though, so to each his own. And as Bear says, only you can decide what's good for you in the long run. That's all there is to it. So for me, to sling my leg off that couch and take a walk with the dog, whether it hurts me or not, I know I have to move because that's if I don't, I'll be locked up and then I'll really be sunk. So Niles, many prayers through my day. There are times when folks come to mind, and you have been one of those folks. Uh, we're a bunch of sciatica people, literally. Yes, uh, we have all been to the College of Sciatica. Oh, sciatica, we sing our song to thee. Oh, sciatica, the pain we lost, from sea to shining sea. Oh, sciatica. Oh, never mind. Anyway, took me an hour of stretching today. It was 3 hours 2 days ago. Yeah, improvement. I got you, Maverick. Now, see, the other day I had a really good day. I mean, I literally I chopped wood, I cut out privet hedge, I raked, I killed ants, I moved, I dug on the foundation. We love you, Mary. Be safe, okay? And continue sending the love out to folks. You're wonderful. Glad you came and shared it with us. But So, and now when my friend was here today, he was like, "So you got some firewood?" And I said, "Yeah, right out there. That's why I've been cleaning up. I knew he was going to get a cold snap. So I might need to put some of this wood to use and get my, because it's going to be in the mid 40s here in the next couple of days. So this weekend. So, which is okay. That'd be nice. Um, which means I can close the windows and turn off the fans. Or I might turn the fan on the heater to circulate the warm air. But okie doke, you know. But yeah, I do have firewood from last year, and this is a good time to clean up some of the stuff I wanted to clean up at the end of last season, but it warmed up too quick and didn't have a chance to really, burn off some of this wood that I'd collected. Is really scrap wood. So, but it'll be great to get rid of that first this year and clean up the back of the shed, and it's all going to work out. Then it's going to be cooler, and I want to go out there and work more because I heat up so easy. So, I'm looking forward to it. So, but anyway, hey, Witch Moon, love you all too. I've had sciatica, recommended immediate surgery. Severe hernia, I healed it with a naproxen. Yeah, that's what's in my ibuprofen is actually naproxen. That naproxen is what's in aspirin now. They're not even aspirin anymore, which is interesting. It's an aspirin substitute, but it says aspirin on the bottle, but when you read what's in it, it ain't aspirin. So, but anyway, oh, but the thing about your back, to take a towel, or they have pillows that are round of varying sizes. And when we used to do therapy with the children and also other folks too, you would roll over on one side, and if you're by yourself, and put one of these things, reach over behind you and pull it close to you, and then lean back over it, okay? And then adjust yourself. So you could take a depending on how thick your towel is, if it's a beach towel, really thick and fluffy, just roll it up, and you can adjust how tight the roll is, right? So, and you can slip it under you, but it'll arch your back, which you absolutely need. Because if you sit too far forward all the time and don't put your back into it, and everyth's got a yin and a yang, a yin and a yang. The here and the the each every muscle's got out and back, out, flex and relax, and so the back is the same way. And I've learned this through chiropractors and other stuff. But if you put a roll under your back, then that can help to separate the spine and relieve it. Now, it may be very freaking painful at times to do this because I've done it myself. But I know that if I adjust it and just kind of use my body and roll over this roll of I've got a pillow, but find a pillow. There are different thicknesses. They make, special pillows that of foam that are shaped in certain ways. Get one of those under your back and literally roll your body on it, and it will kind of act as a way to do therapy and will help crack your spine. I know it helps me, and it's very low impact. But so, Niles, if you haven't tried it, see what you can do. It's better than doing nothing. But I'm here to tell you, no matter what you do, there's going to be pain involved. Okay. But if I'm in so much pain, I will endure more pain because I'm already hurting to put that roll under my back to try to do the simple exercises I've learned to ease that pain. So if it's going to keep hurting, screw it. I'm going to, endure it. Let's go, and then see if I can't release it. So, but anyway, no pain, no gain. But that's just the way it's going to work. If you've got a sore muscle and it's been all contrived like this, you got to stretch those muscles out, like the kids that I worked with, and it would hurt. Did it get started to get it? But when you started to get it relaxing, and their hands would open up to where they could literally grab something, it's like it's wonderment right before your eyes. So just take that, take that approach. I've worked with it myself, so I know it works, but you got to try it for yourself. And you'll say, "Oh, this is just stupid. This don't work." And this, okay. But, there are times when I go, "This ain't working today," and I will move another way. And because I refuse to give in, because the pain will be so great that I'm like, after a while, so then I end up walking up the driveway with the dog and doing stretches and twists and walking and whatever. And I'm a whole lot more limber by the time I get back down the driveway. So, but it's painful. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I'm better off for it, for going through it and stretching out the muscles. So, you know, I don't know what other people's pain tolerances are, but I can tell you right now that it ain't below 8 for me until I do the stretching. So, but you got to tolerate it. You have to work through it. You really, 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 really do. But for me, at my age, with all the back issues that I've had, the fact that I'm planning on pouring concrete tomorrow, the next few days, are you serious? Seriously? And yeah, I am, you know. So, and I might not be able to walk for 2 days afterwards, but I'm going to get her done. So, with that said, take back your authority, respect my authority, So be kind, be brave, be strong, and the lesson of bear, have courage. Later, Katniss. You too, baby. I gotta go take the dog outside myself. It's almost 3 o'clock here, Eastern Daylight Time. So, I love you all, and I'm tired. Have gotten a lot of stuff done today, and did the stories on Soul Tribe. So, which is always good. So, David Castle, Maverick, Katniss, Witch Moon, Michelle, Maverick. Who else did I miss? Somebody else up there. But anyway, I love you all. So I'm gonna, do a hit, uh, put on my other shoe, and go out and go look at the stars. Do a reference. It seems that about a week or so ago, Orion was really low in the sky towards the trees, and I think in one video I even mentioned it. Now Orion's like way up high in the sky, so there's some kind of Earth wobble still going on, just as a sort of a little bit of an update there. But everybody have a great Wednesday. Looking forward to a little bit more rain coming in the next day or so. The river's down to like 4 foot and dropping edge, 4 foot ain't much, right? So that means you could wade across in a lot of places, but um, too many places really. But so I'm glad I got on the river when I did, because it really did drop in this last week that we were, that I was on it. So grateful for that, you know what I mean? So went to great pains, but it was really worth the trip. So, keep that in mind. Um, give encouragement to other people and help make sure that they understand, whether they understand about the bear card or not, but that they should take back their authority. And if the school board is wanting to do something with the kids, say no. Go down to the school board, go down to your principal, go down to the school and say no, and keep your child home, because you're afraid that they're going to secretly puncture them, right? Say no, my kid's not going to school because I don't trust you people, you know. And I think folks need to really think about that. Well, but it's at the schools, so you know, just saying. So let's make sure we send our love and give people our support. Yes, keep your child home. Yes, stand up. Yes, retain your own authority. That's how we help other people. We give them our love and benefit and our support in their endeavor if it doesn't involve us. So that's my purpose. That's why I'm here. And I guarantee you, this last almost a week now, there's been a lot of hard praying going on in the universe for me. Not trying to score points or anything like that. No, I mean, I'm just stating a fact, and I will continue because the adults and people in nursing homes and stuff. Yeah, okay, school kids. Sorry, that really crosses a line for me. You know, stay strong. Pass that strength to your friends. Give them a cosmic hug. We are all in this together. So, Barry, thank you always. Michelle, always. David Castle, rest well. Hope you're doing better. Niles, if you're still listening, we love you, brother. And, I'm not trying to say that, you don't hurt or whatever. I'm just saying that, there are a lot of us who hurt. Don't feel alone in that respect. And keep trying. Keep, the struggle. At my age, I don't know how old Niles is, but I've had back problems for the last 20 odd years. So this is not like a new rodeo for me. I had to go back to school and learn because of the surgeries with my neck and my spine. Hey, Travis. Yeah, we're fixing to say goodnight. I've been on for almost 5 hours now between two channels, almost 3 hours here. And yeah, right. That's right, Barry. We feel for y'all that have back issues and pains and stuff. Honest to God. And if you've got back pains or sciaticas and stuff, we're not trying to pull one over on you and say that we hurt worse than you do. No, we're saying we understand how badly you hurt. I'm not trying to say that. I have met other people who go, oh, my back hurts so bad, but they're not really hurting. They're sore, but if they would get up and do a little exercise, they would get more motion back. But the more that they stay cramped up and cold and walking with a cane, then they can't move. And as an old man, I just know from my own experience, you got to keep moving. And all us old people will tell you the same thing. If you quit moving, you're sunk. So, regardless of age, you got to keep moving. Unless you're absolutely just paralyzed, and then you still try to move. Just don't give up. So we're on your side, everybody. And as I always say, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, and somewhere deep in my gut too, I continue to pray that each and every day, each and every one of you will continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the many, many blessings from the universe, and also answers to your questions. As Bear described, in the description, that the hibernating in the womb is the placenta of Mother Earth, of the universe. And when you look out in the sky at night, or even in the daytime, we're inside this womb, not necessarily a bubble, but the universe. So this energy, the placenta in the description of the bear, is all around us, and we can take in this energy. We just need to learn how to do it better, and it's actually effortless once we learn how to do it. So each and every day that I put my 2 feet on the ground and me and Duggar go out and check the kitty cats, I continue to pray that each and every one of you, your friends, your family, your relatives, and anybody that you might come along with, to learn, to continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the many blessings and answers to your questions that are out there in the universe. And in that law three, that really is important to me, is that you all will continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the love, and the many blessings from the universe. And that you continue to find those things that create chaos in your life, and then you reject them and put them in their place. So have a happy Wednesday, since it's already Wednesday. Be safe, everybody, and we will talk to you soon. But the courage of bear, introspection, and reclaim your own authority. There you go. The message for today, y'all be safe. And it's a good message for in this near future or long term. But keep the faith, my friends. We'll see you next time. And I wish you luck. Wish me luck. I'm going to be mixing concrete, I think. Cheers to everybody. And, Michelle, it's that time where we just got to say, ween. Thank you, Barry, Michelle, David Castle, and y'all that I did mention. I love you all. I do. Please be safe. Okay. Until next time. Ween, we love you. TTFN from South Georgia at 2:54 a.m. on 10/27/2021. Be safe, everybody. Bye.